Hello, I'm Greg. I'm one of the contributors on the WebPhil blog. WebPhil is a blog that seeks to critique social websites in the light of great thinkers. Today I'm going to be looking at Aristotle, and what he has to say compares what the experts of today would say. So I hope you enjoy. Wait, what is that? Did you say something?
Ground control to Major Tom.
So when deciding what experts to look at to compare with Aristotle, I decided to look at TED videos because I love TED Talks. And so I typed in TED social media websites just on YouTube, and I found a couple. I watched this one, How to Make a Splash, and it was good, but the one that stuck out to me was the one by Christian Haleman, and I decided to click on that one. In this video, he compares two different other videos, and one is called Look Up, and the other one is called Look Down. I will let him speak for himself, though.
Now, about a year ago, there was a video that was going around the web that talked about the concept of social media. And it was basically a spoken word video, one of those rhyming ones that are really like, oh God, this is so artsy, this is amazing. And it was this poor man who basically lost his life by going on social media, and it was called Look Up. So it was all about like, don't look down on your phone, look up, look around you, have real conversations, And
so that's that video. So you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's actually watch the real video.
I have 422 friends, yet I'm lonely. I speak to all of them every day, yet none of them really know me. The problem I have sits in the spaces between, looking into their eyes or at a name on a screen. I took a step back and opened my eyes. I looked around and realised that this media we call social is anything but when we open our computers and it's our doors we shut.
So he goes on in this video just talking about how social media is disconnecting us, and at the climax of the video he shows how social media is pretty much preventing us from everything that we want in our lives. And so he tells, before this point, he tells this whole story about this guy who's not on social media and how he connects with this girl because he asks her for directions, and then they kind of make a relationship. And this is them holding hands at an old age because it shows their whole life. So it creates this whole vision of what could become, and then he says this.
But none of these times ever happened. You never had any of this. When you're too busy looking down, you don't see the chances you miss.
So boom, girl walks by because he's on his phone. And so it creates this emotional argument, or pathos as Aristotle would call it, about how we need to look up and stop looking at our phones, and why we should be careful when using social media. Hellman then goes on to give us the other view.
And if you don't like that kind of format, what do, of course? You record another spoken word video that complains about it and says like, look down, it's not that bad. Look up is okay, like, but look down on your phone, like, I get updates from my mom, this is amazing, my mom lives far away. I could have called her as well.
So let's look at that video now.
Look down. I wake in the morning and the first thing I do, check Facebook and see something new. Is it a pic from my sister of my beautiful nephew, or perhaps an Instagram from Max, whose photos are always cool, or a mouth-watering dish from that chef I love who makes the best food, or a tweet from a comedian who's just the funniest dude? No, it's not any of these brilliant bits of the community I've accrued, but another viral video posted to YouTube decrying the tragedy of our modern techno-social point of view.
So that's his basically critique of Look Up. But instead of just critiquing his ideas, he critiques the way he goes about presenting the ideas, which is more tied to Aristotle. And so if we go to the more end part, not the complete end or else it would be pointless, but the more ender part of the video, let's say I think it's 329, you'll hear this critique.
Last but not least, can we please stop being swayed by an accent, some editing, and some cheesy rhymes someone made?
Hey, you got an accent too, buddy. I'm the one without an accent. So basically you have these two different videos. The one that's called Look Up talks about social media kind of taking control of our lives and suppressing the human spirit and things like that, and he makes a really emotional argument. Now the rebuttal to this is called Look Down, and it's kind of a play on words, and he kind of does some rhymes and things like that to kind of mock the way this guy appealed to the audiences the first time. And it's very logical, and he even critiques the guy directly and things like that. And so it's this argument between pathos and logos, which is from Aristotle. Now to tie in ethos to all of this, or which is like the author's credibility, I'm going to critique the expert. So let's watch the beginning of his TED Talk. So he says, long day. So he's like super stressed.
I want to talk today a bit about what reconnecting means for putting the social media, back into social media. I've been working in like online communities and like building online communities for years and years. I've got 38,000 followers on Twitter, and I don't know why.
Impressive number, but then he says, I don't know why.
And I meet people there, and it's interesting, and I see so many people addicted to social media. So basically this is why
he's getting this talk, but he's just kind of really unconfident. He comes on stage like sounding really stressed and things like that. So it's not his experience, like 38,000 followers on Twitter, that's great, you know, working for his whole life in this area is great, but it's not about what he did, it's about who he is, and you can just sense that this guy is just defeated, and you know, it doesn't really make me interested in listening to him. So he didn't appeal to my ethos. And so that is essentially what I wanted to do today, is I wanted to look at Aristotle, social media, and what the experts are saying. And if you want to learn more, check out WebPhil. It's great. So I've got to get back to an important call with Major Tom.
Take your protein pills and put your helmet on.